what was your biggest fear of, because I used to ask you all the time, Daddy, do you do drugs?
Yeah.
You would always tell me no.
Yep.
Why was you so afraid of letting me know, but not afraid of?
I
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Willie J here, man, and you back at it again with me, man. Another episode of the Healed and Heard Show. And today I got my pops, my old man here. You know, they call him Willie Earl. Willie Earl, that's what they call him. And man, I talked to my pops, we talk often now. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, pops, I want to do an episode with you when I come back home. I want to sit down and talk to you, um, to really help men and young men and children understand a lot of things that their fathers go through, why their father may not have been there, why their father may have left, all of the things that you could think about that's negative towards a father. I wanted to bring it in and talk about it, because a lot of people don't understand, especially little boys don't understand what their fathers go through when they're younger. But as you get older as a man, and I could attest to it, as you get older as a man, you start understanding some of the things. You're not saying that it's okay for the father to walk away, but sometimes you can understand. Luckily, my mother was not that type of woman to push my father away or talk bad about you, any of those things. She allowed me to gain my own understanding of my father. And a lot of women out there, you got to understand that as well too. Stop putting those evil thoughts into your children's mind. Allow them to experience it themselves. Now, if the father is abusive physically, mentally, emotionally, did something to harm the children or anything of that nature, yeah, you need to let them know that their father is not a good man. But if he just wasn't there because life happened and he had to find himself and he was dealing with his own demons, I want you all to tune in because this is the episode. And I didn't even want to necessarily name the episode, but it is, how do you forgive your father and grow together? And that's the name of the episode. But I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit, Pops, and dive a little deep into, your childhood and just really seeing how and why you made certain decisions. And as I talked to my pops, I asked him too, how deep can we go? And he said, it's cool. It's my past. We can go deep. How was your relationship with grandpops, your dad? How was your relationship with him?
my dad really treated me like really all the looking back at the times
Mhm.
I was treated from my dad, it seemed to me like I was adopted.
Okay.
And my dad used to be call me, excuse the expression, my dad nickname for me was nigger. Until my mom got on him and told him, don't be calling my son nigger.
Mm.
That's when they start calling me man. And
Mm.
that's when it went to man hall.
Okay.
And I used to get beatings for nothing. Like one time, my baby brother had a knife in his hand. And right here, I got cut, taking the knife from him. And my dad picked up a chair and hit me in the head with it. Woo, boy.
And with that, how did that make you feel? Like, you know,
Like I wouldn't appreciate it.
um, you know,
See, I had to learn my life. I had to learn everything from experience and doing it myself. My dad didn't teach me about sex. He didn't teach me about none of that.
mhm.
And my dad, on his deathbed, my dad told my mom to take care of him. My mind ain't right. But now I'm an electrician, I'm a plumber, I can do everything to a house or whatever
Mhm.
and stuff. And if he's looking down right now, he can see that I wasn't what he said I was.
Mhm. Um, I'm glad you said that because most of the time we don't talk about that with our father. Um, the one thing I would say about you, Pops, is that one, I love him.
Yeah.
Two, he ain't lying. Like when it comes to things like that, building houses and stuff like that, my pops taught me a lot. And I got that working with my hands and seeing something really easy, and being able to put it together. But I also have looked back and it made me sad sometimes because when we started having the conversations, just like what you just said, it allowed me to see a little bit more of why maybe you got into the lifestyle that you did, right? Um, did grandpops, did he treat any of your other brothers or sisters that way?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
What do you think it was because you may have looked like him, or what do you think it may be?
All the older people tell me, say, you look just like your father.
Yeah.
My father, he just went to the first grade.
Mhm.
He could take a tractor, take it apart, and put it back together.
Mhm.
He was good with his hands the same way, and I'm just like him.
Mhm. Do you feel that the way he treated you may have caused you to go into the
Yep.
lifestyle
Yes.
that
Yes.
when did you take your first drink?
16.
16. Mhm.
16.
Was there something where you would say that you took the drink because of people was, you saw people doing it and you was like, let me
Yeah.
try it, or
Mhm.
that was something that you just wanted to do?
Really, my mom was drinking back then,
Mhm.
and my mom was a bootlegger and stuff.
Yeah.
And not before my dad. When my dad died, that's when that came on.
Mhm.
Cause before then, she was just a regular mother and stuff, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, or whatever and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was back at the movie The Help.
Mhm.
My mom was doing stuff just like that. She was going to different white folks' houses
Mhm.
and stuff and cleaning and stuff. She had an apron and all that stuff.
When when we went back to Newville and you were showing me, and I'm gonna insert some of the video just to show you the long dirt road so you all can see.
All big trees to top. All this was clear. Big houses could be right there. Man, we had 4-bedroom house right there. The whole piece used to be in the very back. Almost. My dad used to plant. Uh, I got one of the gardens right there. Oh, that's in top of the road. Yep, it was right here. It used to be a fence go all the way right there, and the house is sitting there. And the hog pen and see the hog pen and everything was back here. Oh, it's been some years ago. I miss them days though. We didn't get sick.
Yeah. Back in those times, you was telling me you had to get up at an early,
Had to get up and make a fire.
get up and make a fire, and then you said you had to go to
You had to feed the cows, feed the hogs, feed the chickens, and come back and get ready for school.
and you said you all had a outhouse until when it was 19 what?
We had our house in 76.
76. You
We,
know, go.
we didn't have our first bathroom until after my dad died in 70. My dad died in 75.
Mhm.
75.
Yeah.
But we didn't get no bathroom, a regular bathroom, until 76. We had to stay at the bays in a big tub like this right here and stuff, and bring the water in the house. We didn't have running water or none of that.
And how old are you now?
Said 68.
68. So I want y'all to think about this as well too. Young men, young women that's watching this about your father, and your parents, not just about the father, but this episode is strictly for fathers, but not saying mothers didn't go through this. My dad is 68. He talked about picking pecans or peanuts. What was it?
uh, I had to pick cotton.
Cotton. Okay. So 68.
Yeah.
He's 68. And my dad as a child picked cotton and fed hogs and cows and all of those things. And yet we don't think about this to not understand that maybe our father went through some hell and it could have broken, because back then it wasn't no counseling. Fathers couldn't talk about what they felt, what they went through, because your daddy probably didn't show you no love. Your mom still was hard and she was still trying to figure it out, and they was just trying to figure life out. And when you're trying to figure life out, it's hard for you to think about other people when you're in survivor mode. And that it just hit me because I was like, pops out here working in the field, and I'll tell you, a lot of the mistakes that you made, it may felt like you were doing something in a negative way, But a lot of the things that you made mistakes on, you actually taught me to not do, right? So it was easier for me to forgive you in the aspect of, yeah, I was mad because, I was run track or, play football or something like that, and you wasn't there.
Yeah.
I would get mad when I was a little kid because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But as I got older and I was working and I had daughters and they may have something, and then it's like work is like, hey, you got to be here, and you're trying to figure out how to maneuver.
Yes.
Um, I definitely understand, pops, and it does something to me to know that that's where you had to go. Like I seen even how what mother stayed at, in the bottom now,
Mm.
like that house. I remember the bed was so high you had to step on a step ladder
It was that high.
yeah to get in the bed, and then the blanket so heavy. You laying in the bed. Once you lay in my grandmother's bed, just make sure you don't use the bathroom. You don't change the clothes. She got so many blankets on there and quilts. You stuck as a kid, right? So I remember those days. I remember coming over there, and sometimes you would come and it seemed like they wouldn't want you to be there for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and I think they may have been afraid that I would go down the path that you may have went down. And just to go in that a little bit more, the path that you went down, once you started drinking, um, when would you say what around age you started, dabbling in doing drugs?
Oh, I was in my 20s.
Mhm.
I was in my 20s then. I was smoking weed back then.
Mhm.
And it went from weed to crack. And that was a bad thing, but I didn't know it at that time. And when you graduated and stuff, I had went to San Antonio, Texas to get help. My church sent me there and stuff. That's why I wasn't there. But I talked to you about that though.
Yeah,
I told you about that.
mhm. I still remember the time where I really saw, and I want to say something. This is when you have somebody that you can't tell that's using drugs, it's hard for you to tell them they don't need to do it because it's not affecting their life. My dad has always looked good, no matter what he was doing, he always kept himself together. And other than if you was around him doing it, you couldn't tell that you were doing anything, right?
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, sometimes it mess up their life. It mess up the way they carry themselves, the way they look.
Yeah.
They lose weight, their teeth fall out.
Yeah.
They just go down.
Yeah.
What was your biggest fear of? Because I used to ask you all the time, Daddy, do you do drugs?
Yeah.
And you would always tell me no.
Yeah.
Why was you so afraid of letting me know, but not afraid of letting my sister?
I didn't want you to know because really I was ashamed of myself
Mhm.
towards you.
Yeah,
But the drug part.
yeah. I'm gonna tell you, pops. The crazy part is that when I would ask you, is because I needed to hear it, so I wanted to love you, try
Yeah.
to love you through it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I know that that's not something that I could have done,
Yeah.
but it it used to hurt me because I wanted you to be okay. And a lot of times I was afraid I was gonna lose you before we got it right,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And a couple tears may drop here and there while we talking because I'm thinking about it, pops, and
Yeah.
I was afraid that I was gonna lose you before I could have a father,
Yeah.
right? So the reason I would ask you is because I was trying to find ways to get closer to you.
Yeah.
And now that I understand that you was afraid or ashamed of it, that's why when I would say I want to see you, and
Mhm.
then I come to Alabama,
Yeah.
and then I wouldn't get a car, I wouldn't get into contact with you.
Yeah.
I have a better understanding now, but I still remember the one time, well, the first time that I think the the tension between us broke is when I walked in on you.
Yeah.
And I know you said you don't remember, and I understand why you don't remember
Yeah.
because it was a situation. So I'll tell you the story. Down by my mother's grandmother's house, his mother's house. It was a little 2-story building, and on top they had little rooms that you could rent or go in there. I come home I didn't even tell you I was coming home
Mm.
because I wanted to pop up on him. I knew most of the time he was gonna be in the bottom. And I popped up. I said, "Where my dad at?" And they was like, "He died at the two-story." And they knew what he was doing, but it could have been out of spite. It could have been out of jealousy because I never act like I hated you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. I was mad at you, but I didn't hate you.
Yeah.
And for the kids and out there right now, the little kids, the grown-ups that hate your father, that never talk to your father to get a better understanding of why your father is there, I give you some words of encouragement by saying, step out of your anger and try to step into forgiveness. Your father may need you. You never know. Your father is waiting for you to call him and to say, Dad, you did this, you did that, but I forgive you. And you don't know what type of relationship you could have with your father right now. And when I tell you it's very powerful, it is. And I say that because I walk in, I see my dad, I knock on the door, he don't answer. I open up the door and I see him with the pipe and the lighter. And in his eyes, I saw him and I saw that it had you, like it had control of you.
Yeah.
And at that moment, any anger, frustration, hatred I may have had that I didn't know was gone because I realized that my father wasn't my pops at that time. He was fighting, you were fighting your own demons.
Yeah.
And I was like, go ahead. And he hit it. And it's like his life, he didn't die, but obviously he's here. But it's like, if you have never seen someone take drugs or smoke crack or dope, anything, you won't understand this, but it's like he spaced out and like his life just went out of his eyes and he was just there, a vessel. And I opened up the windows because if you don't know that smell, the smell. That smell is not a smell that you can just sit around. And I sat down and I talked to my pops about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And he didn't say nothing. He was just sitting there listening. But I talked to him and I told him I forgive him. And at that time, I told him, I said, I don't care what you're doing, what you're going through. We're going to have a damn relationship. I told him, we're going to have a relationship. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to get your shit together, but we're going to have a relationship. And I forced it, but not forced it in a way to where it's like, I'm telling you what to do. I'm like, I want you in my life. I know you need me in your life and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like I turned 32 or something that my pops finally told me that he used to do drugs. And that's how long it was. And now when I walked in on him, I was 22, 23, right before I had my first daughter. I walked in on him, but he don't remember that I walked in on him. And I never talked about it again. But until I was 30 something, he finally was able to admit, yes, I used to do drugs. Once you was able to admit that to me, how did that make you feel?
Like a big relief,
Mm.
like a weight was off of me.
Were you afraid that I was going to look at you
A different
a
way.
different way?
Yep.
Was it that other family members had did that and it hurt you that they looked at you in a negative light?
Family back then, the only thing they were looking for is paper.
Yeah.
But when the paper was gone,
Yeah. Now, I just did an episode on this, but listen to what he just said, when the paper is gone, right? As a man, we know that a lot of people depend on us only solely for what we can provide and not who we are. And men, if you I'm gonna drill this in your head. If your father is not there and he wasn't able to provide, you don't know what hell he went through in order to even stick around now. Like if my father wasn't strong like he was, my father probably could be gone. He probably could have committed suicide, which we are 3 times more likely to commit suicide. Did you ever think about that? Like, which is mine. I want to.
I was, you remember that greenhouse on the hill?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Pookie and the mama, we wasn't together when I wanted to get back with her. And that night, I had a bottle of liquor and a bottle of sleeping pills. And I went in there and told my mom, I said, I love you. And I hugged her and stuff. She said, what's wrong? I said, nothing. I went back in the room. I took a whole bottle of sleeping pills and drank a whole bottle of liquor. The next morning, I remember Mo came in and said, "Man, get him go to work." Got up, went to work. That wasn't nothing but the Lord.
Yeah. I, you know, I'll tell you this. It was a time where I was having problems with my daughter's mother, and I felt like I'm like, why am I here? I'm trying my best to be the best father that I can, and every turn she was pushing me away or causing problems. Now my mom didn't do that with my pops, right? Um, but also too, pops, I bring up things that we and you said you have forgiven me, but it was a time I remember my mom brought me to you. We were staying, you were staying with your woman at the time, and she wouldn't let me come into the house.
Oh, you talking about? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah. And wouldn't let me come into the house, and we sat on the porch and we was out there having fun. That was the first time like we really had fun. And she was like, "Man, bring your ass in this house." Right?
yeah.
And you went in, and I was out there for about an hour until mama came. And I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to tell me that I could never come see you
Yeah,
again. But she knew something was wrong. Mama got
yeah.
that me intuition. So I told her, and her and Marcus wanted to come back and raise hell. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Um, do you remember that? Vaguely?
Vaguely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, when I told you that story, how did that make you feel?
Want to hurt somebody?
No. Well,
Want to hurt somebody?
um,
And that person that did that now
mhm,
is a whole different person
mhm,
because she got that COVID and stuff, and she lost one of the legs, and now she want me,
mhm, yeah.
but it ain't like that.
Mhm. I I'm when I say this, y'all, I want y'all to truly understand me. As a man, it is hard to be a man out here, especially this day and time. And think about it. If it's hard for men to be men this day and time, when we have all of these resources out here that we can go to counseling and find all of this free stuff, and we can go and get degrees, and we can go and get certificates, and we can go get certified and all of these things. But when they was growing up, it was either you get a job at a plant in the field or you figure it out. No resources to help you get over or become better.
No,
And it wasn't no internet. It wasn't damn, they didn't have libraries you probably could go to.
they did, but it was a white library.
Again, look at that. Everywhere they had to try to build themselves, it was a wall up. And I want to tell you that I'm proud of you for even continuing pushing through.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this all the time, but it is he came down to or came up to Atlanta, and we was working on the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I still got the picture, and I'm gonna find the picture and I'm gonna put it up. But I was looking out the window, and my dad was out cutting some wood and stuff like that. And I think I told you I was like, I felt like a kid. And I was like, damn, my dad up here, man. And we doing stuff together. And it was like those feelings and that anger, even that stuff that you may not even know subconsciously was like breaking. And I broke down crying, like I couldn't stop crying. And I was like, told my girl, I was like, man, I'm out here crying. My dad, all he doing is cutting some damn wood. All he doing is cutting some wood, right? But the little kid in me of wishing that I saw my dad cut some wood and build on something and we work on something. Um, it really happened. And I remember it. You bring it up often because it was very important. You was working on a car. I think you was working on a car,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you told me to get you.
Yeah, 9/16
Uh-huh.
French. And he was a little bit, he was small, about 2, 3 years old.
No.
And I told him to give me a 9/16 French. And when he handed it to me and I looked at it, I jumped off front of the car. I went in the house, hollered, and said, he handed me the right wrench.
And my mama was like, "What? What you talking about?" And it's crazy. I'm that small, and I still remember. And I had a toy in my hand, but I picked it up and gave it to him. And then we was in there, he picked me up and all of that. And it was like, it's those little small things. I understand kids. I understand fathers, young men right now. If you miss those things, I understand how important those are and why you may feel the way that you feel. Um, but again, we go back to, what did your father go through to get to where they are?
I didn't have that.
No, you did. So you didn't. And I'm one of
My dad didn't do stuff for me.
yeah.
My baby brother, he always took him places and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did you? How did you start learning how to be a man? What do you remember? Like, what age where you started learning it? Did you have somebody that you
I
saw?
started when I was 17 when I first got married. I learned by looking, but when I was in high school, uh, I didn't know I know how to build stuff because I got a photograph from memory. When you showed me something one time, I could do it. My shop teacher told me, he said, Willie, come here. And he showed me a blueprints of a coffee table. And he said, look at this for about 5 minutes. I looked at it for 5 minutes and then he took away, he said, now build it. And I built a coffee table. I went from a coffee table, I was 12. I went from coffee table to a jewelry box to those units that sit in the corner like this. Go to I was just sitting, I built those.
And it's it's crazy because how things are passed down. Because for me, I'll tell you, I'll look at something. If I see the picture, when I tear all of the stuff out,
Yeah.
I know what to do.
Oh, I don't even.
Yeah, I don't need the instructions. I can see, you know.
Um, when I was small and stuff, it was a lot of things I can remember. And some things I can't.
Mhm,
But I remember one time that I used to get beatings for nothing,
mhm,
and that really affected me
yeah,
and stuff. And really, what hurt me is when my mom told me, my dad told me my mind wasn't right.
mhm,
But now, all my sisters and brothers and everybody call me when they need something did.
mhm. But sometimes you have to understand that the black sheep is the one that helps the family get over, because your mind wasn't right to them, because everybody was being pigeonholed to looking at life this way, but
Yeah,
you had a mindset that was outside of that,
yeah.
right? So it was, yeah, he was right, but it wasn't in a negative what way. It is, and you have said it to me, more than once, that it affected you. Um, how long would you say that you was doing drugs?
Ugh. The hard drugs.
Hmm.
Ugh. About over 10 years.
Yeah. Did you start because of a friend, a family, a woman? What was it?
How can I? Oh, woman.
A woman.
Yeah.
And I asked that question because I was that way as well, not doing drugs, but I understand that aspect, because I wanted to love a woman so much and love her so, love her right,
Hmm.
that I would conform to
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
would want, right? Um, that woman that got you on that, was that your first heartbreak?
Nope.
Yep.
I
Papa
got, I
was
got
the
to
Rolling
think. I
Stone.
got to think back. Let me see. Sue, your mother,
Mhm.
suffer. I can't remember the other one, but
Yeah,
it was the fourth one.
the fourth one.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the fourth one that broke your heart. Were you doing drugs before then or after?
After.
After that. Um,
Because before then, they were just weed and drinking.
yeah. Do you think that was a catalyst that pushed you to start doing drugs like that?
Yep.
That heartbreak.
Yep.
Do you think you ever healed from that?
Now I am.
Now you are.
Yeah.
mm, What, 40 some years later, you would say that you
Yeah. Hmm.
have. Do you, the way that you loved her, do you think that you've loved like that again?
Nope.
Listen to that.
Nope. The way I am right now, and I hate to say it, not the one I'm with now.
Yeah.
But if I break up and go somewhere else and get another one, I'm gonna tell them what they want to hear. And they go, if they ask me, baby, you love me, I'm gonna say, yeah, baby, I love you. I do anything for you, and be lying all the same time.
Listen, it's when I tell y'all, when a man get his heart broken, he damn near is never going to be able to love like that again, because we don't even know how we got to that point to love that woman like that. I'll tell you now, it took counseling, it took me working on myself, it took me reading, it took me writing a book to really let go of the hurt that I had, because I got my heart broken. I'm 215, 220 now. I got down to like 150, 145. And when I tell you I look sickly.
Mhm.
And it's women say, well, not women, let me say, but I've been seeing some women say that men are very emotional, because if you get your heart broken one time, do I not just get over it? This is where we account where men say we love more unconditionally than women do, because we'll love you no matter the conditions. A lot of women will love you in the conditions that you continue to do things that they want or provide for them. Not all women, but a lot of women. And that first heartbreak, 9 times out of 10, if we didn't do anything wrong and they do wrong, oh, you can hang it up. That type of love is never going to be easy to get back to. I did want to say, Pops, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. I love you.
I love you too. And this is gonna be one of many videos that we're gonna do together. But I just wanted to break it down a little bit to let kids know, if you're a child now, teenager, young adult, call your father. Ask questions, because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're going through, what they experience to make them make the decisions that they made. Either walking away or not being there because they are alcoholic or dealing with mental issues. Our father's been fighting demons just like we fighting demons. And it's not a physical war, it's a spiritual war. And a lot of them didn't have support. And I'm not excusing their behavior, but I want you to look at it from a different perspective. How many mistakes have you made? How many decisions that you've made that hurt you and someone else? If you understand it from that point, call your father before it's too late. It's your boy with a J. I got my pops here. They call him Willie Earl, because Papa was a rolling stone.
That's true.
And I tell you, and I was a pebble went into a stone rolling. I got some ways. I got some of his ways. But we both working on it to make it better. So want to tell y'all, if ain't nobody told you today, tomorrow, next week, or last week, that they love you and they're proud of you, your boy Willie J, I love you. I'm proud of you. Let's keep it going. Let's build those bridges back to fathers. Well, peace.